So I thought in this episode we'd take a look at getting good pictures of animals. And whoa. First of all, we'll grab that while it's there, because I got myself some diplos. So we got some diplos. Can we get anything in the foreground? That's the question. Just a little, even a sprig of grass. It doesn't really matter if it can't, but it would be nice to get a sprig of grass. There's nice flowers there, but I can't get low enough. Can't quite get low enough. There's a bit there. That might work. So we'll get it lined up. Again, just a tad bit of fog, not much. We are checking, remember, the focus isn't on the background. Remember, look, you're not trying to take a picture of the background, although you just want the taste of the flavour of the background. Take that down a fraction. And we'll look through the times of day. I think I might want to be closer on that animal. So we might forget about these plants in the foreground. We'll just see. That's too bright. Do you see? Let's point this out. See how that's not really doing much for the animal itself, although you got a nice shadow. You got a nice shadow just there, which is not bad. That tree looks like it's coming out of its head, which is a bit unfortunate. I'm going to have to change that angle a bit when I get to take the picture. So we're looking for mood. I'm paying close attention to the shadows, mainly on the creature, because that is the focal point. It's too blue. Unfortunately, like I keep saying, blue is the default colour, but that's alright, we can hide that tree behind that character. Right. So, we've got the creature, we've got a decent backdrop. These trees may be a little too sharp for my liking, but I can't do much about it. That's in the way there. So I need to maybe take a little bit closer to get rid of that. So it's not too fussy. Focus is on the animal. So, got that. Fog density seems right. I always set the cloud down, out of habit. Even though, like I said, it doesn't really make a difference. Now we'll try a different filter. See if my favourite filter. Vintage. The thing about a default filter and the vintage filter, it's a very subtle difference, but there's something about the vintage filter that brings the colours together quite nicely. Vibrant is always a little too much. It's default, the contrast turned too high. Works sometimes, but very rarely. Fog is always a nice one. Amber is okay. Again, that brings all the colours together, but maybe a little bit too much. Classic, stock, artistic, marine. Green is quite nice. That is quite nice. Again, my favourite, isolation. But that one, fall. Fall just creates a realism. Don't know what it is, but it just creates a realism. So now we'll just have a bit of a poke around with the light. I want some interesting highlight on his back. Isn't bad. That's interesting. That's too much. So if I take it right over here, it flattens him too much because it's too flat. You want shadow. You want the shadow to be cast. That's interesting because of that. Because what it does to his haunches just there. That's quite interesting. It's a little bit oversaturated. I can take it the same place but down a bit. Oh, that's starting to look nice. Down a bit more. Right, so we've got this creature here. I'll try a different angle for a moment. That's quite nice. That's quite nice. Now that is interesting. Now, which one do I want to pick? I mean, that way, there's nothing there. That is a nice picture there. That is quite nice looking. Because as soon as you go behind a creature, obviously it looks like it's looking out. So the creature takes your eye to a focal point. So if you're going to take a picture of a creature from behind, make sure there is some sort of focal point, as if the creature is looking somewhere, even if he's not. Side on is a little bit corny, but that is quite nice. That's quite nice. It's quite nice there. Shouldn't be a long video, this one, because it's quite straightforward. That is nice. I'm going to hide that for a minute. No, I'm not. I'm going to try a different... Right. 548. Default filter, vintage filter, vibrant filter, fog, classic, artistic, green, isolation. Too green, too green. But I'm gonna flick through. I'm gonna flick through the time. Never just take the picture. Play around with it. Play around with it. Ah. Get some nice detail on here. And here. No. I think I'm going to turn it back to filmic is too much, too much. Fall. My old favourite fall. And I think we've got ourselves a picture. Just to experiment a little bit more, I'm going to take it a little bit further down. Maybe a little darker, even than that. Maybe a little bit further down. Maybe even a little more. Just minute adjustments. You're looking for a mood. Now you see, we've gone blue. This is, like I said, the unfortunate thing. We take it high again. It's too washed out. What about behind him? That's a little more primeval. With the sun in the background. It's a little bit more primeval. Just take it down that way. Now I think I get the best shadows from about there. So there's our shot. There's our shot. Let's get it centered. Let's take the picture. Picture taken. We can just hang about for a second in case we get this thing. Now we've got two. We've already got the lighting set up. So that's cool. We've already got the lighting set up. So we know it's going to work in this area. So there's no real reason to change it. And let them walk around a little bit more. You got to be patient sometimes. I'll stand in the same place for a long time just to get a picture. Just to get a picture that I want. You would run off, wouldn't you? So we'll just look, see if we can get down here. I'll just have a quick walk down here, see if there's any other animals to look at. But you don't want the light to be directly from the front of the creature. You don't really want the light to be completely from the front of anything, to be honest. You want an angle. You want the light to cast some shadows, to give it form. To remind the eye that this thing is three-dimensional. When it's from the front, it immediately says flat. That's why these rocks look nice. You can tell, because of the dark and shade, that they're going in and out. Shadow is important. But it very much looks like there isn't going to be another creature around here. I'll zip out here anyway, just to take a look. You never know, might come across something. I've only just claimed this as my home base. This is quite nice. Some opportunities here. And that's quite a traditional picture there. I think it's because it's night time. Buildings are a difficult proposition. They're a difficult proposition, and I'll do one on buildings at some point. I think the main problem with buildings is they're quite generic, and I'm so used to seeing them that they don't inspire me that much. This is why you don't see many pictures that I take with buildings in them. I prefer the organic picture than the symmetrical one. No, very much looks like there are no more animals this way. Let's see what we've got anyway. That sky's nice. That's another thing you're looking for as well. A nice sky. If you can get a good sky, that's always nice. Just adds an extra layer of depth to the picture. I'm going to enjoy walking around this planet. Yeah, we've got a different Diplo here. So let's have a look at this, shall we? You see, you might look at that creature and think, oh, that's an interesting creature. But you're not. You've got to look at everything. That backdrop is boring. This floating rock ruin stuff, and there's nothing really there. It looks just. It would just be a pic of the creature rather than a proper photograph. So that's not of any use to me. Don't find that interesting at all. Again, not really much in the background, and the floating rock ruins it. floating rocks to me. Things to avoid. I would highly recommend things to avoid. Anything. Resources. Floating rocks. Gigantic constructions that remind you that this is procedurally generated. Anything. Anything remotely unnatural. Avoid like the plague. Just avoid it. It doesn't do your pictures any favours whatsoever. But I'll be doing one on using caves as frames, and I think maybe this planet might be ideal for that. So it went a little bit longer than I expected, but thanks for watching. I hope that was of some help, taking pictures of creatures. Even though I didn't take a picture of that creature at the end, pointed out why it was not a very good picture, which I still think is helpful. So thanks for watching. Au revoir. Have a good one.